Hello, welcome to On and Island Vinyl, where we talk about vinyl records and music. Today, it's a little bit of an update. As you can see, the background's a bit different. I have moved. I'm in a new place. It is way better, and I can play my music, which is awesome. My other place, I wasn't able to play my music as much, and it just wasn't as great. But, we are in a great cycle of music. Today, we're going to talk about Joe Henderson. Now, for the jazz buffs out there, we know who Joe Henderson is. He is the OG tenor sax player from the late 60s, 70s, and even 80s. He passed, I think, in 2001. He would do like gigs and stuff throughout the 90s and late 80s as well. But we're kind of here to focus on one specific era of Joe Henderson that I really love, and it is the Milestone series and titles that he released. Now, there are two others kind of in this category that I also want to include in this because I feel like it's in the same era, kind of the same vibes, and one actually is from the same session, just released on a different label. So Joe Henderson released 12 total titles from the Milestone catalog as studio albums. And then there was like a few others that, like one is a compilation from the early 80s, I think. And that one just has songs that are on the other studio albums you can get. So I personally only have 4 out of the 12, and we'll get to those in a little bit. But the one that I kind of want to start off with is not a Milestone title. It is a Muse title, and it's from the later series. I think it's Muse 5367. Now, Muse started in the 5000s. 5001 was the first one. I think it was a James Moody title. And so this album I saw on eBay. It was a promo, and I saw Joe Henderson. And I thought the title was just the title of the album, but it actually is another player of that album. And so it is a Keo with Joe Henderson. This is kind of a very light, but still kind of upbeat to a certain degree, Bob contemporary jazz album with a guitarist, trio, bass, guitar, and drums. And Joe Henderson as well, and piano as well, Peter Sake. Very cool. And so this album is very chill. It's something you could play while cooking, even while cleaning, or even just relaxing. It's all around. It's very encompassing. It's not like Kind of Blue, where half of the songs are pretty much lounge or just chill out songs like Blue and Green or Flamenco Sketches. Most of this is quite contemporary. It's very chill, but it's great contemporary. It's not boring to listen to. Like, Joe's playing on this is fantastic. I think Joe is really out of what I think to be like the best saxophonist category. I think immediately Wayne Shorter. I think of, well, Charlie Parker, obviously, but that's kind of a different era. I'm talking more like tenor sax, 60s, 70s, 50s kind of era. Obviously John Coltrane, and then for third place I put Joe Henderson. He's really good, but Dexter Gordon also is very versatile too, and don't get me wrong, love Dexter, he's great, but there's a certain magic to Joe's playing that really pulls you in. It's very listenable. He picks really great melodies, great harmonics, and overall it's a very great album, very chill. We're going to talk about the very first one that I got out of the Milestone series. And I was in DC in early February with a friend of mine named Hamish. And we went to see Kenny Barrett, actually. It was a really great show. It was very tight. I was at the Kennedy Honor Center. But the next day after we parted ways, I had like an extra half day or so to, explore DC. So I went to HR Records, and when I got there, they were very friendly, very welcoming, and my phone actually was about to die, so they let me charge it, which was very nice of them. And when I arrived there, the owner just brought in a box that he just got from somebody from a deal or something, and in this box was like Music Inc., the Strata East label. There was like Black Jazz labels, the Karma, Pharoah Sanders, all that type of stuff was in there. But also in this box was this record, and it is In Pursuit of Blackness, Joe Henderson. Now, this album is probably the favorite out of the four that I own personally. I think this one is just a straight heater throughout. The very first song is Recordame, but it's No Me Escueza. That's the title of the song, but it's Recordame. And I'm telling you, man, it's beautiful. There's a trombonist on here. I think Curtis Fuller's on here, actually. Yeah, Curtis Fuller's on here. George Cable, Lenny White, Stanley Clarke. And then Pete Yellen on alto. And then there's also another band, Woody Shaw, Ron McClure, Tony Waters on conga. Ron McClure's on bass, by the way. George Cable and Woody Shaw. So there's two separate bands, which I did not know. So looking at this, the first, third song on side one and second song on side two is the first band. And then Invitation and Gazelle is the Woody Shaw group. This record's amazing. 100% recommend getting these. Also, might I add, these titles are going to get more expensive because people are starting to catch on. And I recommend, please do not overpay. I paid $70 for this, which is very reasonable. But sometimes people like to overprice this on eBay or online markets. Like I've seen a first press of this go for like $250, $300. You can just wait on it. Like they come up, you just give it some time, okay? And we'll get more into that in the few of these other ones because it actually has to do with online markets. Okay, so the next one. These next three, by the way, were all Etsy finds. I found them all on Etsy. So don't doubt the craft market because you will find some great OG presses. So this is my second favorite one. This one is more funky, more experimental. There's a lot of interesting like synth work. It's very synth heavy, sax heavy, very awesome. And that is Black is the Color. And on here you have George Cable, Dave Holland, Ron Carter. I mean, you have just a star-studded cast. There's really, I also got this for $70 on Etsy. Again, this record also goes for quite the penny. And, give it some time. Like, you don't want to rush. You don't want to impulse buy. So yeah, great album. Fantastic. Now, these next two really have to do with overpricing on the market because I see both of these extremely overpriced, especially on eBay. Both of these I've seen go on eBay, sold for over $100, and I have seen them listed for over $150. Personally, these should not be more than $40, okay? These are the two that are pretty much the cheapest you can get out of the bunch, but that doesn't mean that they won't increase in price, yada yada. But that, again, I think you should hop on these two. And that is Black Miracle and Black Narcissus. Both of these, great. This one is a bit more fusion-y. This one is a bit more contemporary. Still very good. Love it. These are great albums altogether. And for the other one, the other label that I was referring to with the other like Joe Henderson release is there's a album called Live at the Lighthouse. That's a milestone release. And there were alternate songs or other songs that were recorded that weren't put on milestones. And so there's like this folk song archive that is part of this thing. I have an Eric Dolphy album right here, which reminds me to show you. So it is the Everest Archives of Folk and Jazz Music. And that's what the label looks like. The label on the other press, I think, is the same color. There's like a 15-minute version of Invitation that's just amazing. And Woody Shaw, of course, is on that album. So yeah, just kind of wanted to show you some Joe Henderson titles. And as far as like any other updates, I am playing a lot more in New York. I still live in New York. I am currently DJing a lot more. And this Saturday, I'm playing at a few other places. So that will be in the description. And I'll post all the deets to that. Anyway, this is On an Island Vinyl. Please like and subscribe, and peace.